So hello, good evening. This is Akshaya. I am a graduate in clinical nutrition and I'm a postgraduate in clinical nutrition and dietetics as well. I'm a consultant nutritionist with Fitzoh and I am here to talk about the topic 5 fat loss myths. So, what do we know about fat loss and what are the myths there are? There are various myths that I can know about the fat loss all around. Because social media is just so engaging and there are so many people out there who can just start posting about what they want and doesn't matter if they're qualified enough to do that. So despite being social media a very technical platform for all of us to use, there are so many people who use it without any educational background or just use it just because they want to give out information and become famous. So in that case, there are very many posts about health and nutrition which goes around, which has a lot of myths and misconceptions, which makes the public very confused on what to believe and what not to. So there are a hell lot of misconceptions and myths going around, among which the 5 myths which I'm going to talk about today. So the first fat loss myth that I would like to share with you all is it doesn't matter what you eat as long as you count the calories. So is it actually a myth or a fact? There are so many people who tell you can eat a cake and biryani and still be healthy and still lose weight. Is it true or not? So what can you do with calorie counting? Does calorie counting even matters? Yes, calorie counting does matter, but also with the quality. Calorie counting can help you assess the quantity of the meal you eat and the quantity of the food that you consume, but it doesn't necessarily assess the quality of the food you consume. So it also has to be the quality and the quantity as well. So calorie counting should be done and must be done for weight loss and other health benefits, but also along with the quality of food you eat. Doesn't matter if you can eat a piece of cake in the morning, a piece of chicken in the afternoon, a plate of biryani in the night, and still lose weight. It does matter that you make wise choices, and what you eat really does matter. The quality of the diet will lack if you do not make proper choices. So you eat what you love, but in smaller quantities. You can definitely eat a cake, definitely eat a biryani when you're on diet, but not all on the same day. So you should be aware of what choices you make and how you make. So the calorie counting does matter, but it doesn't also mean that the myth has to be broken that whatever you eat, you will not put on weight as long as you count calories. That is a complete myth, and that is something you will have to stop believing in. So count your calories. It definitely will help you in weight loss, but at the same time, you will also have to count and the quality of the food that you consume. You will also have to look upon what quality of food are you consuming. And then this is the first myth I would like to break. So the choice of food, the conclusion of this myth is the choice of your food is very important. And not only calories matter, but also your health that is behind it. So this is the first myth. It doesn't matter what you eat as long as your calorie is counted. No, it also matters the quality that you eat is important. So the second myth that we'll go upon is tasty food is always unhealthy and healthy food is always not. Tasty or very tasteless or bland or boring. So this has been a myth to each and every one of us that tasty food cannot be actually healthy. Is it true or is it not? So firstly, I would like to tell that stop thinking that healthy food is boring or bland or restricted eating. So only when you change your own misconceptions, only when you change your mind and what it is, then you will really understand that the way of food you eat is very important. So tasty food can be made by us. We decide what is taste and what not is. So the tasty food is what we decide as it to be tasty. Who decides which food is tasty and which food is not? It is all us, and it is all we who are taking all these things. So it's in your mind and it is in your hands to make the food better, tastier, and also a better, healthier choices. So choose high. There are very many ways to make your food tastier as well as healthier. It is all we cook and we eat, so it is all how we do the foods. So it is as I told, it is all in your minds and your hands to make the food tastier and healthier. So there are a few tips that I would give out for choosing a food that is both tasty as well as healthy. So first tip is choose high quality ingredients. So whatever foods you're using or whatever ingredients you're using to make it healthy or to make it a better alternative choice, make it a good quality food. So a very good quality food is really important. So good quality ingredients must be chosen to make your food tasty. I do not mean that you'll have to choose costly ingredients to make your food good quality ingredients. You can always go with organic foods. You can always go with normal natural foods that we get and seasonal foods that we get to make it really fresh and also good quality ingredient. So choose very high quality ingredients, and the second point is eat what is in the season. So seasonal foods are really important to choose. So whatever you get in the season, that is really important that you consume. Frozen foods are also necessary. Yeah, there are so many people of us who is choosing frozen foods, and who we cannot keep buying foods seasonally, so we buy and store them. Yeah, there's no issues in that, but as long as you can choose quality food, that is as necessary as when you can choose seasonal food, please do, because the seasonal foods are those which consume which we consume when we consume is very fresh, also has all the nutrients, and also gives you the best flavors and the tastes when consumed. So if you want to make it healthy, go for the seasonal foods. Whatever you get it in the season, please consume that. And then the next point I would like to tell you is learn to cook smartly. Yeah, most of us do not like to cook, and most of us do not cook, and most of us actually bound to foods that are tasty and which is already ready-made instead of us sitting and making them. So what I would like to tell you all is choose foods that you can make easier, and cooking your food can make you really happy, and cooking your food can make you, enhance the flavors of it, and you will have a pleasure in eating the food that is cooked by you. So that is something you can do. Cook your own food and learn to cook smartly. So many of us are very, like in our current situation, we do not know how to make tasty food, or we do not know how long as we can we do not have the time to make tasty food, and we do not have the time to make it flavorful and ingredients. So what we do, just grab 2 pieces of bread, make bread omelette and have it and leave for work. So I would like to suggest that giving time for your health and eating is as important as giving time for the rest of the things in your life. So in that case, choose good quality ingredients, choose seasonal foods, and make your food yourself. Learn to cook smartly. There's no food that is not tasty. Any food, if you think we can make it definitely tasty. And then I would like to add some little tips that you can add in your food, that squeeze a little lemon to everything. If life gives you lemons, use it in every damn food that you get. Just use it in every food. Lemons are very tasty. They are very taste enhancers. They're the best taste enhancers, and they give you out the most excellent flavors in the food. So squeeze out a lemon in everything, your salads, your vegetables, your sprouts, whatever it is, squeeze out a lemon. The taste is definitely going to enhance. And not only that, you can add vinegars to their salads. There are so many people consuming salads with just salt and pepper and not tasty, and they quit having salads. But there are salads that we get commercially which are very tasty because they have loads of cheese and mayonnaise added to them. We cannot actually add upon so much mayo and cheese if we are choosing a healthy diet, but you can make them really tasty as that by adding some amount of lemons, some amount of vinegars, apple cider vinegars and all. And the next point I would like to give you is make it a homemade food. So homemade foods are really necessary. Pizzas and frittatas and other foods that we get outside, crispy fried chicken and burgers and macs and whatnot. But I would suggest you that make the foods as homemade as possible. Homemade foods are the best choices that you can have. So make the foods as homemade as possible. And who said we cannot make a frittata and a pizza at home? So if you're going to make it with your own dough, if you're making it with your own flavors, if you're going to make it with your own enhancers, it's going to be really tasty as well as healthy. You'll be really health conscious when you make your own food. Instead of getting it from outside, when you make your own food, you tend to look after the health benefits of that, and you really become health conscious. So just start cooking and try including a very many tastes in the food. Sprinkle your foods with a little of nuts, a little of cheese, olive oil, spices and herbs, and there are so many options out there that you can make your healthy food tastier. So moving on to the third fat loss myth is eating at night makes you fat. Really? Eating at night, does it really makes you fat or no? So how does eating at night makes you fat? Do calories magically increase when you eat at night? Definitely not. So calories are the same when you consume it in the morning, afternoon, or in the night. So what foods you choose is really important. So eating at night doesn't makes you fat. I would like to say that this myth would have come out because there are people who choose foods like that at night. So there are so many foods that are available, and what we all choose at nights are those which are readily available, easily handmade, and that we get very easily, such as candies, chips, coke and whatnot, because we always used to store them at home, and at night when we are really lazy to get up and make some food and to have them, we instantly choose the ready-made foods that we get and we have it. So eating at night makes you fat because the foods you choose at night are calorie dense and less in nutrition. So that is the reason eating at night makes you fat. It is totally a myth if you can break. It is totally a myth that we all can break together by eating healthier options at night. So there are very many foods that we can consume at night and not get fat at all. It is all in the choices that you make. So the foods that we choose at night are basically low in nutrition and very, very, very high in calories. That is exactly the reason why we become fat while we eat at night, and that must be the reason this myth would have come out. So there are it stores calories. Eating at the night, after eating immediately, we do not do any physical activity. One is we eat a lot of calories while we choose the food that we eat, and two is we actually do not do any physical activity after the food that we consume. So because eating at night is just late night snacking when we are not sleepy, when we are just hungry, and while we are looking at social medias, we do not know what to do, and we eat. That is actually how we eat at nights, right? So after eating at night, we do not tend to do any physical activity and just go to sleep or just lie down right there, so that the calorie builds up in your system, and there's no way that the calorie that you have consumed will burn. There's no way that the calorie can burn. So that is how it loads up in your system, and it turns as fat, in turn making you obese. So this is how the myth came over. So why can't? So is it that you should not eat at night at all, or you definitely can eat at night? You definitely get late night binging. You can definitely do late night binging and late night snacking, but it is just how. And what foods are you going to choose? It just matters about that. You can have healthy salads, eat bowls of fruits, making wise choices is all about it. So just make good choices. Just choose high nutritious and low calorie foods. There's so many vegetables and fruits that you can consume at the night which are low calorie and which are also equally filling. And just as I said, you must learn cooking. You definitely must learn at least to cook for yourself, so that you can have a really healthy, delicious recipe as well as which is also health conscious. So this will be the third myth that we have shared overall. So eating at night, so this third myth that we are breaking is eating at night doesn't makes you fat. It doesn't. It just matters what food you choose. So choose it wisely and definitely enjoy eating at night. So this is the fourth myth. This is the third myth, and the fourth myth we will move across is the most scattered myth around. The most questions that we have got about is all about this alone. Does carbohydrate make you fat? So carbohydrates makes you fat is a myth that has been going around. Like, so many nutritionists and so many dietitians would relate to this, because each of our individual clients who come to us, the first question they put upon is eating carbohydrates makes you fat. So why should I eat carbohydrates? Firstly, I would like to tell that carbohydrates are one of the major macronutrients in your body. Our body has three major macronutrients. Our food has three major macronutrients. The top of the list is the carbohydrates, and then the proteins, and then the fat. So these are the major macronutrients. So the name macronutrients would itself suggest that it is very, very essential for the body. If it is not really essential, if it is bad, it wouldn't be a macronutrient. So carbohydrates, I would like to tell you, it is a very important source of our food that we consume. So the energy that you get for the regular activities you do, for the regular movements our body performs, for everything that we do is basically due to carbohydrates. The first source of energy that we get from the body for any form of performance or any form of activity is the carbohydrates that you consume. So instantly when you need an energy boost, or instantly when you need energy for some sort of activity, the body first searches for glucose, that is your carbohydrates. So the carbohydrates are the major sources of energy that your body can depend upon. And if you're going to cut out on them, remember what you can do. So the next one that we would try to talk is